Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'm going to be filming my 6-week pregnancy update. So starting off, as always, as this is my 6-week update, I have uploaded this when I am post 12 weeks and I do have my notebook in front of me to remind me if you see me looking down. So also a little disclaimer with this video, I was actually abroad this whole week. I was away in France, so I probably had more symptoms, more tiredness and things like that than I would if I was back home. Unfortunately, I also had like a coldy flu-like illness as well, so that definitely impacted on how I was feeling this week. So starting off with a couple of things that have stayed the same for me this week, I've still been feeling really warm. Now this could have been due to not feeling very well. However, I had that on previous weeks as well, so I think it was more of a pregnancy thing for me still. I have also still been getting up for a wee in the middle of the night, usually just wake up around once, but yeah, that is most nights that is still happening. I've still also had the funny taste in my mouth as well. That's something I really struggle with because it's constantly through the day. The only times I find that gets better is when I've eaten, but for like a short amount of time. The thing that I found was helping me in between those meals was just having like a sweet, like a fruit pastel or something. It just took the taste away for a little while, which really helped me in those times where I was really struggling with the taste. I have still had problems with having a heightened sense of smell. I am really put off food, also like other smells as well. It really varies, but there is like so much that I don't like the smell of now, and it just makes me feel awful if I do smell it, which has also led to big food aversions for me this week. Food is something that I've really started to struggle with. Didn't have that really at all in my first pregnancy. I think I was put off maybe like 1 or 2 things, but this time basically nothing sounds good. I've been sticking to like the same kind of things, but obviously where I was away I was trying to try new foods, but I wasn't really fancying it too much. Also going alongside that, if I had like the slightest feeling of hunger, that would then lead into extreme nausea for me and then into actually being sick as well. Sickness was never anything that I struggled with when I was having my daughter, but I've really struggled with that this week. It's usually worse before lunches and before dinner for me, but where I said on previous weeks that I'm not really getting the hungry feeling, it's really hard to kind of predict when that's going to come, because I can go from being fine to hungry to sick in the space of about 10 minutes. So it's like a really quick turnaround. I know if I'm feeling hungry then I need food pretty much right there and then. So yeah, that's been really difficult to try and manage this week. I've also been gagging quite a lot of things this week, just for like no reason. I especially find it's worse in the mornings as well, but even like talking about it just makes me want to do it. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I have actually found that I've been less sleepy this week, as I was getting really tired around 2 o'clock. Now I don't know whether that's because where we were away in France we were busy pretty much every day, so it kind of kept me going because we were out doing things. I was up and walking around, whereas sometimes if I'm at work I can be just sat at my desk and it's easier to feel more tired. So I don't know that that's kind of kept me more awake than it normally would this week. I've also found that I've become quite uncomfortable for standing for long periods of time, and that I'm needing to take more rests than I normally would. I don't know whether again that's because I've been out and really busy this week. I think I've been more active in general, so that may have just like exhausted my body a bit more than it would normally. But yeah, I found myself getting really tired after like short amounts of walking or standing, which again was tricky whilst we was away because I was having to sit down more often, but we tried to take everything as slow as we could and I just did what I could. I've not been particularly liking the feeling of anything touching my stomach, whether that be like someone accidentally like leaning into me or clothing, even like tights, for example, going over my stomach. I found it really constricting and just uncomfortable. I've been trying not to wear them through the week because it just feels like so uncomfortable, and then it feels like such a relief to like take them off at the end of the day. So that's something new that I found this. I've also found that I've had quite sore boobs this week as well, kind of similar to like before you get your period. It's kind of that feeling, nothing that I can't deal with, but just slightly more uncomfortable than it normally would be. I did also get my first 3 weeks plus pregnancy test. I hadn't tested on there since I found out, but while we was away in France, we wanted to take some announcement photos for our family when we do end up telling them. So we took a clear blue test to be able to take those photos, which came out really nice. But yeah, all in all, I do feel like there's been quite a lot of changes for me this week, especially with the sickness. I had been recommended to actually try eating like little and often and like having more snacks and things. However, I found personally for me that hasn't really helped. I found that became even more tricky to predict when I was getting hungry. And I'm just somebody who likes to have like 3 large meals a day and not really snack. So personally for me, I didn't find that was helping too much, so I stopped doing that. So I'll go ahead now and insert a little clip of me filming the 6 weeks pregnancy bump update for you.
So I thought I'd just show you my belly. This is me at 6 weeks and 6 days. So yeah, I always tend to blow out in the evenings really bad. Obviously that's not a baby bump yet, but yeah, 6 weeks and 6 days.
So that's it for my 6 weeks pregnancy update. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.